I had a lot of examples of what I didn't want to be.
Okay.
And it took for me to kind of dive down different paths to figure out like, this ain't it, that ain't it. I definitely don't want to be representing the block at 40.
I'll tell you, tough part about the mentorship piece of it all is to reach a lot of misguided, anybody who's been misguided.
Yeah.
It's like the thing you are offering has to be more appealing than what they offering.
That's hard.
It's real hard.
It's
real hard. And if like, you know, if this is coming across as something that I'd rather be this than what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You end up losing a lot of people.
You might be cool, you might be funny, you might be particular, you might have something that young men that look like you will look at, and you have to be able to like meet them where they are while slightly dosing in like that knowledge.
Are y'all seeing ways around mentorship, around rebuilding those bonds, connecting our lineage, connecting our history and our present? Are there things happening right now that you're a part of, that you're witnessing, that you want to happen, that we're able to invest in?
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the new season of Tap In. 4 brothers, 1 table, and 0 filters.
3, 2, 1.
And we back.
Welcome to another episode of Tap In. I am your host, Phil Agnew. To my right is Mandela Barnes, Amo Manny, and our friend Deanté Kyle. We're gonna get it started. We tapping in Detroit. You know what? People don't know this. People sleep on it, and a lot has been said about Detroit. But Detroit was a center of the world for many, many years. Literally, the center of the world. Whether it was car manufacturing, whether it was music, Detroit was at the center of it. Why don't we know enough about Detroit? Why we let people talk bad about Detroit?
Because there was black people.
Okay. All right, so we've got a thread here.
Quick answer.
Yeah. Why else? Why do you think we've forgotten about how great this city is? I mean, the block we're on, I'm looking across the street. It look like, you know, Stevie Wonder could have lived there. You know what I'm saying? This is where the world, if you wanted anything to shake and move, literally, it had to come out of Detroit. Why don't we know? I mean, we don't talk to each other no more about our history? Yeah, who did that? I think Detroit deserves its flowers, man. Detroit really does. Not only for hosting us here, but for many generations, black wealth, generational wealth, the ability of black people to go from nothing to something, it all started here. So I think us giving this city its due and seeing the resurgence of the city is beautiful. Hopefully, the black people that made it what it is are able to stay here.
It's a lot of parallels, similarities with Detroit and Milwaukee.
Okay, talk about it, yeah.
Manufacturing, auto industry.
Yep.
Then seeing a decline in that auto industry.
Yep.
And manufacturing has led to, you know, a lot of disproportionate outcomes, right?
Yep.
Like the level of poverty, dilapidated buildings, because where people were able to come and build a middle class life, build a working class existence, and show, you know, what was possible when working people had a seat at the table, earned a living wage, had health care, had everything. And for that to be basically just taken from underneath the feet within just a matter of years, you know, less than a generation, it took for it all to just go away. But to be able to rebuild. But when we talk about rebuilding, it doesn't always include the people who were.
It very rarely does.
We see this in Detroit, we see it in New Orleans, and it gets played out again and again. Like the families, if you look at poverty and what comes as a result of it, you know, drug dependencies, you look at crime, like this stuff just doesn't just happen because.
No, it happens. It's always a cause.
Nowhere else to turn. It's always a cause. And for people who want to look at a situation like what was the case here and say, oh, well, man, things are so bad. It's so scary. Well, how did it get here? Like you mentioned, how did it get here? How did we get to that place? And why are we not in the business of working to resolve those issues? Why are we not doing the work that it takes to rebuild the communities from the ground up? You can't just say we want to fix crime. We can't just say you want to fix and solve drug dependency without having a solid foundation and an anchor for people to live a decent life.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, look.
It's cut and dry right there.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Detroit. Shout out to the League of Revolutionary Black Workers, General Baker. Shout out to the NOI, which was strong here. Shout out to all of the Motown people that have come through here. Shout out to all the people who are organized with the UAW and everybody, because this is a beautiful city.
Hey, shout out to Mary Sheffield, who's probably gonna lead this good city one day.
Hey,
my good
shout
friend
out.
Mary Sheffield.
Good friend Mary.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey Mary. So we talking about this city and the history of the city, and one of the things that has been lost is our ability to really transfer that history and talk about, hey, this is what this used to be, and we were talking earlier about the old heads. It seems like more and more and more and more the concept of the griot or the historian, or even just mentorship, somebody being able to say, yo, come talk to me. Let me tell you what this street used to be, or what this city used to be about, or what our people used to be about. That seems to be going away. Some people say it's going away. I have a slightly different perspective, but where do y'all feel like you get history from? You know what I'm saying? Who put you on game? Who gave you history about who you are? Who helped to frame that? Did you all have mentors?
Well, my dad was just so deep in it.
Okay.
Obviously,
Okay.
they named me Mandela.
Yeah.
So it's like I couldn't get away.
Right.
Couldn't
Yeah,
get
we
away
were talking about it earlier. You couldn't just be like, yo, I think I just want to chill.
Yeah.
You couldn't be Mandela the mechanic.
Yeah.
It's like, nah.
I would have to be best.
You would have to be the best.
I would have to revolutionize the industry.
You have to make your own car.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
Yeah, you have to
automotive.
You have right. You have to
I can't
fix
just say
cars
it's
so good.
I can't just say it's the alternator and walk away.
No.
With a cigarette hanging from my lip.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
I have to build a whole new alternator.
Exactly.
One that would never fail.
Yes.
Especially our people.
Yes.
everlasting.
Exactly. Yes. It had to be so good they would throw you in jail for 27 years.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Mandela, your father.
Yeah.
What was your father's name?
Jesse. But that took a turn. It did not take a turn.
Owens. Come on now, brother. History. History.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so your dad put you on game.
Oh yeah, for
Your dad,
sure. I
okay.
mean, there was no way I could get away without knowing Black history.
Okay.
In the house, he prides himself on getting an Africology department started at UW Milwaukee.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So he is very deep in it.
Okay.
Showed up to my high school graduation, dashiki. That's just him.
Yeah. So he's a part of that era, that generation that took African pride, took Black nationalism, took cultural nationalism very, very seriously.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
I had got some pictures of my dashiki when I was a kid. I'd be happy to share them with the Tap In cast.
Okay, yeah. We'll air that one. Put it in there in post.
Yeah, put it
That's what it's called.
We'll add it in post.
Okay.
For sure. My boy got that jar.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Put it in post. All right, who put you on game?
Oh man, it's a little different for me because both
Yeah.
of my parents are Nigerian immigrants.
Okay.
So I felt like I always had a little gap in African American history, which I had to reach out to different resources, whether there be book recommendations or podcasts like what Deanté's putting on. So you gotta do the knowledge, or as he would say.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, shameless plug.
Look, I don't mean to interrupt you. I am going to interrupt you, but it's not. I do want to hear the completion of your answer. But the question is, it isn't even about Black history, right? It's who put you, who set you down, or counseled you in your identity and who you are. And if that's still the answer, but if your African parents put you on a level of history and lineage of where you've come, that's important to the convo.
Yeah, no, most definitely put me on to a lot of just Nigerian history, being able to visit and see where I come from.
See, now that's
it's a privilege.
That's definitely a privilege.
It's a privilege.
That's for sure
absolutely.
a privilege.
Given the history of this country, so it's I don't take that for granted, and I'm very grateful for that.
Man, I ain't gonna hold you. I had to put myself on, bro. So when we was talking about the great cities of past and what they are, I think the common denominator in a place where we can go in a before and after is the war on drugs, right? So we got all these examples of great cities before the war on drugs.
Yes.
And then economic instability, cultural instability throughout the war on drugs, but also ushering in degenerate behavior, right?
Yeah.
So I had a lot of examples of what I didn't want to be.
Okay.
And it took for me to kind of dive down different paths to figure out this ain't it, that ain't it. I definitely don't want to be representing the block at 40.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think education was very important for me. Book recommendations is always the most important. I think a very cliche entry point to like Black history, Black nationalism is Malcolm X by Alex Haley.
It's super important though. It is that.
But that one,
yes, bro.
That one, because I think what it talks about more than anything is reform.
Yes.
Like how to reform yourself. And how education and history of self hit like knowing thyself like in a real way. That shit is transforming.
It felt good reading that book as a kid.
Oh my God, bro.
It did. Like, it felt like reading a superhero origin story.
In a real way.
Absolutely.
But then also too, like you have video footage. You have audio footage of like his speeches and the impact that they had, and like he's polarizing, bro. Like we'll forever talk about Malcolm, right?
Forever.
And so I think that being an entry point for me, and also like I was like on some deconstructing religion at this time too. So it's like, okay, well I don't want to replace one with the other, but I do want the information, and that put me on a path of like getting unbiased information from every degree of Blackness, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
You had that self-awareness at the time?
Please do.
To not just replace religion with just maybe another...
Yeah, because, so the thing that helped me deconstruct was the parallels and the similarities. So then it becomes like a regional thing of like wherever you're born, that will inform what faith you follow, especially like in the Abrahamic religions, right? So like being born in North Carolina, I'm, African Methodist Church, Black Baptist Church.
Right.
You already predisposed. Like it is like it's baked into the society, right? So I think for me it was like very rigid in how I was living and like what parameters I could operate in. I wanted to experience like a real freedom of thought. And so it was like, okay, don't go from one to the other, but like really explore in the sense of like figure out what their faith is and why. But then also like what's informing, the NOI? Like, what is informing that? And like, how like articulate and like they have powerful orders, bro. Like, that is, if you are in search of something, you'll find it there because like it's also like a history of self. It's a history of this country. Like, there's a lot of research involved in like they don't just put anybody up to speak. So like I've actually got a lot of inspiration from people like Khalid Muhammad, Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan.
I grew up in Chicago. You have to. They're everywhere. It's a part of, no matter what religion you are, if you Black, there's a part of the NOI ethos or the way they see the world that seeks it. I didn't grow up eating pork. It was just a part of it, and that a lot of that put us on game. It's
very powerful,
history.
Man.
To be able to have that history and understanding of who you are and where you come from, even though, the NOI, it goes, it goes a little left.
The third mosque was in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee.
Yeah. So you see that history is there, and because those were places where people from the South were coming and looking for a place, looking for something that was organized and disciplined. And you talked about it, but you brought up something very, very important, because we also hear all the time, man, why we don't got, you see how it used to be when our people was coming up and now we don't have it. And we always sidestep, or we act like it is happening over here, the crack epidemic. We don't talk about the crack epidemic like what it was. Like it was germ warfare on Black communities, Black institutions, Black families. Why don't we talk about it? Why do you think we don't talk about it in that way, contextualize it in that way?
Well, I think finding root causes of things really does give you like a direction to put blame in.
Absolutely.
And I think that there's this whole thing about the Black community where it's like, you need to be accountable, you need to be self-accountable. Right. And it's like making that word victim like a thing of like, I don't want to be a victim, I don't want to, like, there's villains and victims, right?
Yeah.
And so like, if somebody set up a whole play to destroy your community through chemical warfare, that's a legitimate claim.
Yeah, that's just an objective fact.
Because look at the before and after of it.
Yes.
Like that matters, right? It dilapidated us like economically, but also like
socially,
morally. You have a whole generation of people. Like Gen X doesn't get talked about a lot,
right?
Because there's not a lot to talk about if you're not talking about the drug epidemic. So I think that people want to like sweep it under the rug. Right. And like the whole ethos of my podcast is like sweep shit from out underneath that rug. Address it in a real way, because if we don't talk about it, then it's like for one, it can recreate itself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If we will continually be perpetual in drug epidemics if we don't address the initial thing, because this isn't like some casual drug.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Devastating.
It's devastating, right?
Yeah.
So this also erodes the trust that we have with each other. This erodes how we deal with each other when it comes to money.
Yeah.
This erodes how we do business.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think that it's always very important for me to like talk about the cause and effect of that, because also my generation, millennial, I was born in 1990. Everything that I know culturally is informed by the drug epidemic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and music, film, everything, right?
Yep.
So I think by not discussing it, we do ourselves a major disservice.
Yeah.
Because it happened, you know what I mean?
Manny, when we do talk about it, we talk about it more in jest. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all talk about, you know, somebody got crackhead strength. You know, we talk about crackheads. Why do you think when it comes to something particularly traumatic across generations for our people, the only way we can process it sometimes is through humor? Where do you think that comes from?
Oh man, I just think it might just be ingrained in the DNA, to be honest, bro. Like to get through such traumatic and oppressive experiences, like you have to like, you know, laugh to keep from crying, so to speak.
Right.
And I think that is a generational kind of like thread or motif that we have. And I just think humor is powerful, bro. Like it's like for me, doing stand-up comedy is like the great connector.
Right.
You know, whether it be, you know, within or outside the community, I feel like it's a great connector. So I just feel like it's almost necessary.
Yeah.
Because what's the alternative?
Yeah.
You know, sorrow? Like, no, you gotta be optimistic. You gotta find ways out, find ways forward. And I feel like humor is a useful tool for that.
It would be completely debilitating.
Yeah.
Without humor.
Right.
Like the
weight of it.
The weight of it all will literally kill a person.
Yeah. Agreed. And you know, when we don't talk about it, it allows us to pathologize ourselves. To say like we're really to blame for what happened. When you don't, we're just not as good as those people, those black people in black and white photos who, you know, had families, had churches, had, you know, community organizations. We just can't do it. But when you know the facts, the cause and effect, how the war on drugs after that, right? How the policies of the Clinton era as well destroyed families, institutions in our amongst black people. You're able to then really accurately assess how we get from under it. I think when we ignore it, it allows you to get into a place of just defeat, right? Because you're believing that this is your lot in life because this is who you are, not because of an external factor that was planned, coordinated, facilitated by the government on the black people, right?
Correct.
On the poor people. And that's very important.
Well, and then the subtext of this is also too, like, a traditional patriarchal society that we live in expects men to be the lead, right? And if you take loads of men off the street in droves, and you funnel it into
out
prison,
of the economy,
out of a voter base,
out of
households, all of these things like compound into other things, right? So then also you have a street culture that exists, but the more you get men going into prison and coming out back into the street culture, the pervasive culture becomes prison culture. Right? So how much of the
where else they gonna go?
How much of the street shit is just prison culture? So then it's a vicious cycle of like preparation. Preparation for incarceration. So and then to celebrate it through media, there's a initial start of hip hop that speaks about drugs being whack, like drug dealers being
broken
like,
glass
corny.
everywhere.
That's corny shit. What the fuck? What do you mean you selling drugs to the community? Your mama smoke crack rock. Like that's it's a critique of the behavior, right? But it's also like highlighting like the devastation of it. And then you get a whole generation of niggas.
LA niggas.
What? But you, glorifying gangbang culture is a thing, you know what I'm saying? But specifically targeting LA because of gang culture. True. Because you have people who have already had an established gang culture. That was community organized. That
Chicago.
When there's a power vacuum. These people now control the drug trade. And then when the power vacuum increases, then it's controlled through violence.
Right.
So it becomes less about money and more about violence.
Yeah.
Because it's an eye for eye type situation. It's like chain reaction happening constantly over and over again.
Yeah.
But when you make all of the films, all of your 90s black films is about gangbang culture.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Boys in the Hood, all this. And it's like, oh, they don't show what's going on in the hood. It's like, okay, but there's other shit going on too.
Yes.
You know, there's people out here that's actively trying to stop this.
Yes.
Right? So what's Trey's daddy name in Boys in the Hood? Either way, he's speaking about gentrification.
Right.
He's speaking about recidivism.
Yeah.
He's like, and this is just like you trying to kick some knowledge. Like that's the way it's played off. But then the music coincides with that messaging too. So then we have an entire generation of people that create like this hustler music. And then we see Jay-Z become a billionaire. And what's the origin story? The origin story is drugs.
It's dope.
And the origin story for majority of the rappers from 95 to 2005 is drugs.
It's drugs. Yep.
So it like you erode an entire generation of people who's listening to that too. You know what I mean? I was fucked up by it. Like, I'm telling you, I'm 11 when Get Rich or Die Trying drop. I'm like, might need to get these packs.
Right. Yeah.
I need to get a 9. For sure. I mean, they put you on the blueprint. Like, I'm gonna give me a 9. I'm gonna give me some crack. I'm gonna hold this block down.
Get shot 9 times. Hope I survive.
Hope you survive.
Hope I survive.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to hit that gym. I'm in the club. I'm doing upside down crunches.
Get that G-Unit white beater. That little white beater.
You know, I'm on spaghetti strap and spaghetti strap.
Yo,
nastiest white beater all time.
It was horrible, just bad with cursive on it. Just with cursive on it, bro.
I don't even know how we let him get away with that.
No, we let him get away.
Besides just being purely intimidating.
We really let him get away with too much.
Actually, when people scared of you, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
You can do that.
That's what 50 Cent proved.
Suge was wilding too. So, with that being said, we've established that it's broken. Are y'all seeing ways around mentorship, around rebuilding those bonds, connecting our lineage, connecting our history and our present? Are y'all seeing ways that we can rebuild that? Are there things happening right now that you're a part of, that you're witnessing, that you want to happen, that we're able to invest in, that we can rebuild? Because when you don't know where you've been, right? That is a cliche, but it is absolutely true. It is absolutely true. It goes to the book bans right now, right? What's happening in our educational system. People, these cowards who are in power right now do not want their children or ours to know what they've done, to know what they've done in the blood on their hands. Because they saw during the 2010s, 2012s, their son and their daughter was going to school and learning, that's how we got this. You know? And so history is important. How are we rebuilding those connections? How are we seeing it?
Yeah, I'll tell you, tough part about the mentorship piece of it all is to reach a lot of anybody who's been misguided. It's like the thing you are offering has to be more appealing than what they're offering.
That's hard.
It's real hard. It's real hard. And if like, you know, if this is coming across as something that I'd rather be this than what you're talking about. You end up losing a lot of people. I don't have the answer.
No. I've talked to other people about this catch-22. I work with an org, Black Men Build, right? And we work with brothers. And so we're reaching and talking. And so we want to bring them out of patriarchy. We want to bring them out of misogyny. We want to bring them out of addiction to capitalism and all of those things. But in order to reach them, you kind of have to present like you have some of the trappings. And this is a very complex thing that I've only talked about personally with a few people, but you don't want, young people don't want to hear how you should behave with a woman from a dude who doesn't look or sound like he has any women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a hard thing to say because
it's a hard thing to say.
But it's a very honest.
But it's a
you know what I'm saying? You don't want to hear about like, hey, you don't have to sell drugs to get that car when you pulled up in that.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
So it's for a tourist.
It's like it's very, very hard.
It's hard. Man, back in the day when I was a part of a mentor program. It's like when I had my charger, my lime green charger. They listened to me.
They could hear you. They heard you really clear.
They got it. They understood. And that was a different point in my life too. They got it.
You might need to pull that thing back out. Okay,
Well, but see, here's the thing though.
Still got it.
And to that point though. we see the people that oppose us fund they fund their rhetoric through materialism.
They do.
Like,
they do.
Just because the materialism looks different and it's not as loud, doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? So we live in a society that's like extremely capital forward. Like
absolutely
niggas need money, bro.
Yeah.
So if I'm broke and you broke, but you got all this information, like
I can't eat that. I can't take my girl out with that.
Actually, I'm trying to think about how we gonna get this money, and you doing all this talking.
Right. How
about you shut up?
You know what I mean?
How about you shut the fuck up and we can get this money? But I think if that is the mentality, then what's the incentive, right? So then how do you incentivize somebody that has such powerful leadership skills and a voice, but also has the backing to put on the show, right? Because it is all show, right? I don't want to. You could be the next Malcolm X and really be giving me the information, but young boy got the money, he got the motion, and I see that nigga on every screen I look at, right? He sold out tour, he got everybody dressing, he got niggas standing like him, That's a whole new thing, right? So I think that in order to be in competition, you got to play the game, where the competition is, right? If the competition is purely material, then at least have the leader look like something, right? You dig what I'm saying? But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like extravagant, but it needs to be comparable.
Well, you talked about it with the NOI. You talked about it.
Think about how uniform they look. This is powerful. The uniform. That is like capitalism 101, like uniformity. That's how you group people off. Like they have a similar look to them, right? So I think if there's an aspect of things where people are very like surface with their things, then on the surface there needs to be an appeal. And then you can infiltrate that mind like in a real way, right? Because I wasn't interested in niggas in my neighborhood that wore dashikis and beads and they were selling oil. But when I seen Malcolm and them speak and seeing how uniform and organized they was, I was like, come on,
bro. We all remember. It didn't really happen, but
that part, right? That's powerful.
No one man should have that much power. It was like, but
organization is a powerful thing because this is the appeal of gangs as well, right?
So absolutely.
If they have that appeal, like, bruh, you got somebody like a Lil Wayne, right? If you just look at him as he is, he looks extremely harmless. Right? But when he starts speaking, he starts throwing up these signs, and then you see the entourage. It's like, oh shit. Nah, he powerful.
To that point. I want to go back to my question because I think it's important, right, around rebuilding the bonds.
Correct.
Gang, for as much as we talk about street culture, street organizations, street tribes, whatever you want to call them, not only did they have the appearance, but also it provided the family structure. It provided the brotherhood and or the sisterhood, the fraternity, the camaraderie that a lot of us are looking. So how do we rebuild those bonds? Is it going back to those basics? I support going and joining an organization. And I've heard a lot of people be like, nobody got time for that, meetings, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's the desire of every person, in particular men, who we're in a loneliness epidemic right now. And it's a very true and actual thing. It's not because of us, it's because we're in a late capitalistic society that's taking everything from us and we ain't got shit. But the point is, how can we rebuild the bonds? How can we do that? What needs to happen? Back to basics? Do we need to update our game? You're across multiple platforms. What does it look like?
I think you have not to cut you off, but I think you have the blueprint, right? Because like when you look at antivenom for like a snake bite, it's made from the same structure as the
Talk
venom.
about it. Yeah.
And so we were talking about this.
He hates you. You talking about vaccines?
That's the real vaccine. That's the real vaccine. That's the real vaccine they afraid of.
Yeah.
And it's like
I'm never listening to somebody that talk like that. Go ahead.
5G or something.
He got the auto tune. Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Travis Scott mic, but we have the blueprint because even in a broader discussion, you look at like a PragerU. It's a pipeline. Yes. It's a PragerU. It's these kid Coco Melon or whatever for like young Republicans or whatever funneling into Fox News, who is funneling into like white Christian nationalism. You feel me?
Yeah.
So we need like the antithesis to those in a way that they don't even know that they're being, I don't want to say propagandized to, but like politic to or preach to.
Yeah.
Because like you said, nobody wants to hear an older gentleman talk about women if he doesn't look like he could get a lot of relationships with women. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very subversive thing you gotta do.
So
and then you also gotta be like, no, but that's not, you know what I'm saying?
We already had the shit.
The goal.
Because what Deanté was talking about earlier, about how hip hop used to think selling drugs was corny, it got flipped because the marketing dollars was behind that.
Yes.
So we might not have the marketing dollars, but we might have you might be cool, you might be funny, you might be particular, you might have something that young men that look like you will look at, and you have to be able to like meet them where they are while slightly dosing in like that knowledge. So I think that's like
a different value system.
The Panthers did it right? They did. So instead of focusing on where the gap is, they completely excluded them, right? So there was no focus on adolescents. The focus was on adults and children. The adults ever present in the community feed the children. This makes the adolescents decide where they want to go, right? Because you don't want to be left out.
You want to be down.
And this doesn't seem appealing, but also my little brother, my little sister is always at this breakfast program.
And do you see the beret?
You see the uniform.
You see the
but also
jacket.
too, like, they are just as militant, if not more militant, than the gang members.
They
and
are.
the gang members respect them. But they kicking knowledge though. So like, I think this idea of like information or the bringers of information have to be harmless. I think harmlessness does nobody no good. Like you actually
gotta stay dangerous.
You gotta stay dangerous, right? Like I think it's extremely important too, because like young people respect power, right? And you not having money but having all this information, it just doesn't come off as powerful.
Your alternative has to like, it has to be something.
There has to be something.
And the other part too is like, you know, you get people who, the demonstration is like, all right, what you are doing in the streets, what you may potentially earn in the street is the same you can earn 9 to 5, and probably less in most instances.
If you're able to get it. If you're able to get it.
If you're able to get it.
Right. And the information, right? So to that point, like that there it has to be like a multiple point system, right? So like if the teenager is lost, then the focus has to be on the child before they even get to that position.
Right.
But it also has to give them something to aspire to as they grow up, right? So like they're not gonna, the 7-year-old that's in the breakfast program and they're ingesting all the information every day, they're not gonna end up like the 17-year-old at all. They're on a totally different path. But the 17-year-old has to be 27. So what are the 27-year-olds doing?
Right.
Are they engaged? Do they look like
I like the sandwich concept you're talking about. I haven't heard it put like that, and I think it is brilliant. Because we do try to talk to...
We try to get directly to them. Also, too, you talking about biologically, they're just not even in the space to receive anything, right? It has to be visual. It has to be.
And it just brought up something like real tough for me to talk about. I remember back in like 2014, woman I was dating, like there was a kid in her class. I was a state rep at this point, and he and I connected. I knew his dad, and like he was like interested. He's like, oh man, he was like when I talked about politics and government, like he got it. Like he was getting it. He was young enough where there were a few other distractions. And earlier this year, I guess he graduated. You know where the story's going. And it's just like one of those tough things because I hadn't talked to him since like second grade. Or whatever. 11 years ago, and now no longer with us because.
I didn't even know it was going all the way.
All the way.
And it's Milwaukee too, so it's like they have the same trappings in Milwaukee as they have in Chicago. Atlanta, Philadelphia. Like the thing is like.
Sorry to hear that.
Man. It was condolences too, man. That's for sure. I think that the person with the power has to also like explain what the possibilities are. Like we talk a lot about like high probability outcomes. I think that because of like how mass the media is, it looks like a high probability.
Right.
But like basketball's on every day. There's 450 jobs in basketball.
That's it.
And all 450 ain't starting jobs either.
No.
So then you always 1 foot in, 1 foot out if you ain't on that subset of starting 5, right? So by really breaking it down to the point where it's math, like it's just a mathematical like possibility, a statistical possibility. Like you going for a 1% outcome. And then even in that 1%, you don't thrive unless you're in the top 1% of that 1%. Right? So I think breaking it down to a point where it's like you're basing your whole life and your existence and your future on like a lottery ticket. Right? And on the opposite end of that lottery ticket is death or jail. we can say like, oh well, you're gonna end up dead or in jail, but like there ain't no numbers
You gotta
attached
break it
to that.
down. Yeah.
There ain't no numbers attached to
How
that.
long was Pablo Escobar's run? Very short.
It was
Yeah,
like,
and that's
Very short.
And that's the thing about media
Very
right
short,
there.
bro.
Yep.
But how many documentaries and movies have been created
about his
to
height.
make it
About
seem like
his height. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes, and the thing is like the big thing about like the 90s, early 90s, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s was this covenant of Scarface, right?
Oh, yeah.
This dishwasher to drug lord, but like he was a fucking slime ball.
Yes.
He was a rat, low key.
Yeah, he was.
He was a drug addict.
Yeah.
And then he got popped in his crib.
Yeah.
But everybody want to talk about the cars and the suits. First of all, them suits was tacky as hell.
Horrible.
He slimed his homie out because his homie, like, bro, this is he was a piece of shit, bro.
He was
like,
horrible.
fuck him.
He was horrible.
But we're gonna give Al Pacino the budget, and that nigga can act.
Yeah, he can, because the Spanish was horrible. The Spanish was just bad.
I don't even know what that accent was, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That was coke. That was coke rap.
That was coke rap. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot of movement in the jaw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo, so you touching on a little bit, and this is gonna feel a little bit like a jarring pivot, but the conversation over the last few has just been, what do we say to young people? You know, how do we get them to a place that's different, better than where we've been, where we are currently? And so here's I'm bracing the hard pivot because I do think it's an important conversation. How many of us here are fathers? Just one. Okay, so my question is for all of us, and you'll have a specific question. How has the milieu of the day shifted or changed and forced you to adapt to your role as a father? If you could do that in a few minutes, because we running up on that time. And then for us, the question is, how have current events, the society, the zeitgeist right now affected your view of having children? Whether it has or has not, or whether you know, agnostic on it or whatever, you know, whatever happens. I don't know how y'all rolling, but that's the question. I'm interested.
Yeah, in regard to the decision of having kids or not in the current society, I think it's twofold. For one, the first part is like an economic decision. I think the economics of
So that's first and foremost. You don't feel like God has put you on this earth to make you a father.
I mean, that's cool and all, but late stage capitalism, bro. I need the bread, bro. I don't know.
God is cool and all.
I need the money.
Trying to get that pay. You hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's that consideration, of course. But then I think more societally, maybe for my generation, it seems to me that sometimes I felt like the older generations had children as like accessories, like check boxes, like the house, white picket fence, 2 cars, 2 kids. Check.
The dog.
And especially from the masculine side of things, being a man, it's like, okay, you could be a provider, but still not be a father, because there's emotional and other needs. But I feel like because so many maybe older men were providers, they felt like they were good fathers, which they were in a sense, but there still may have been room for improvement on the emotional end.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's a consideration that me and like probably some of my peers that don't have children yet or don't have families yet. That's another consideration. So I feel like that's what's really factoring into the decision on like having kids later, or maybe not even at all.
Maybe not even.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I want kids.
Okay.
Got to figure out. There's a
More
lot
than one.
Well, there's a lot of variables. I was an only child.
Okay.
And the thing about that is,
I'm sorry, bro.
It's good, man. No, it's tough. I mean, as my parents are getting older, it's tough. It's really tough. Like so much responsibility falls on me.
Yeah.
But I will say that there's just a lot of variables. One, I need to be responsible about who I'm bringing a kid into the world. I would like to be married before that happens.
Okay.
Other piece of it is just like, what kind of mess we bringing kids into?
This is the
like
question.
It's a real problem. It's a real consideration, like the climate change, and also just like the acceleration of technology and what is that doing to social bonds, social relationships. Like, will I be able to bring children to this world who actually are engulfed in a space with other humans and interacting with people in a way that I was able to do so. And I think that's what makes life fulfilling. It's being able to associate with people. And social skills are completely on the decline because everybody lives in isolation.
On the screen.
And the idea of bringing in kids into the world who won't even effectively be a part of a real society is a little frightening.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna just go brief, and then you, as the lone father, you can close us out on this question. But, I mean, I've isolated. At first I was like, I couldn't even imagine. I got a nephew, niece. I seen what that was like, and I was like, no. And then like 2 years ago, I still remember the day, not the date, but I seen this dude with the little baby on his front, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I had a conversation in my head. I was like, what? and I was like, you said that's cool, and I went for about a year like, oh, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And over the past year, those considerations have come up a lot more. I've never, and this is not a jab or dig on anybody, but I've never thought about money. Money will come. I'll figure it out. But the world that we're living in, literally the world that we're living in, and my ability to inoculate a child against not even just racism, just weird shit. I don't know about my abilities in that area, my patience in that area with the world. I want to keep them inside, keep her inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not leaving, and that's no life to live. So I don't know where I'm at with it. If God
also go back and forth.
Sees fit for me to get that one more pump in, and it didn't happen, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yep, that's how we'll phrase it. We'll phrase it that way.
Yeah. I will love you. I will love you.
This is the one.
I love you.
It is one.
The one. It's the one too.
It's that one pump.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead, my brother.
So I had my child like fairly young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And me and his mother, we have 3 kids together. So it's this is what I thought. Like, it's life, bro. You know what I mean? You have some kids, you know what I mean? I was raised fairly traditional in that aspect too. The consideration for like what the world was doing and like money and I'm purely biological with mine. We in love, we finna have these babies. Yeah. We'll pump out, we'll figure it out later. I gotta get 2 jobs.
We gonna do it.
You know what I mean? But I think that one of the more important things when it comes in relation to children, especially the youth, and especially the youth that we would love to target, this is adolescent youth from 13 to 17, is that we don't really ask them, right? So the question that's posed is, what do we have to say to them? But the question is never posed of what do they have to say to us?
Yeah.
I learned so much about my kids through just asking questions and letting it sit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I, of course, like, I also like I do some slick shaming. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Cause like if my son watching the stream, I'm like, they ain't gonna watch another nigga live. That's crazy.
Right.
Never would have thought I was.
He just opening a box.
But you know what? Through that, it's like he be like, I ain't watching stream no more. Because because what we doing? We watching other people live. It's trim
That's what we doing.
Live your shit. You know what I mean? But I think that you can navigate weird shit by making it weird to them.
Right.
My dad did a lot of that. My mom too.
Yeah.
Right, because the true perspective of it is like, that's a little corny, my nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you think I'm cool, like, you think I'm cool?
Yeah.
You ain't seen me watching no nigga. I ain't watching no nigga live their life.
Ever.
You know what I mean? Like, this is not the thing. But I think also, too, like, my middle son at 11 has articulated to me that school, it feels like I live at school and I visit home.
Oh.
So my lack of interest in school is like, this isn't my home.
Okay.
And I spend so much time here, and even when I leave and I go home, I gotta take school with me because I gotta do homework. He was like, I don't fuck with that system.
Okay. You let him curse?
Yeah.
No, I'm messing with you.
No, but I do. Actually, like, well, I think the thing is like, no, that's real though. Because a lot, it's not very traditional, but I'd be like, don't curse at me.
Yeah.
Don't curse at school.
Yeah.
But if it's a frustration, like, I understand it. But also, like, I need you to have 5 words that coincide with that feeling, right? You saying, like, fuck this, but, like, what do you really mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like, But because it doesn't make it taboo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I think we do a lot of things that make shit taboo.
Right.
And then of
Never
course
explain.
like the curious mind.
Yes.
It's like why is that? Why is it wrong?
Yeah.
Why can't I curse? And then when you with your friends, you cursing up a storm.
Yeah.
And like my daughter, she don't curse at all, and she police everybody else cursing.
Yeah.
Even though it's like even though it's not something we blight at the crib.
Yeah.
Because she like, it's just like, you said you know more words, so like we should use better words.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like
absolutely.
a reverse engineering of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is like as much knowledge and as much wisdom as we may have to impart on these people, our listening skills are the most important. Because how do you address the needs of somebody who you don't know what their needs are?
Yeah.
Right? You just telling them what you think they need. But they are living in this world that we are scared to bring children into.
Damn.
They're growing up in it.
They're the children.
And nobody gives a fuck what they think about it.
Yeah.
It's about time for us to get this figured out.
Yeah. Well,
Let's go on our journeys.
I wish this one could go on even longer. I feel like we'll bring a lot of this back. But for a parting word, I want you to just, think for a second and thank somebody who's mentored you. You know which camera, 1, 2, 5. And think about somebody who's mentored you and just thank them. And then we'll wrap up.
Shout out to Fred Hampton and John Africa.
Come on, man.
Man, shout out to my father, Emmanuel Sr., full government. Might have to censor something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my dad too. Same thing I wouldn't have known about any other leaders if it weren't for my dad ingraining that in me. Jesse Owens Barnes. Now I say his full government.
Wow.
Please get that out in post.
Well,
Damn, Norman.
Yeah, I want to thank my father, Barney Earl Agnew. And he changed his name to Barney from Bonnie. He's the smartest man I know. Was on Jeopardy when I was in the 3rd grade. And showed me a lot about what it means to be a man, for better or for worse. He's still here today, and I thank God for it.
Same here.
That's Tap In.
Tap in.
All right.
Thank y'all. See y'all next time.